This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by
Freaking.com.
Hey, Ridley signing in for RidleyReport.com. I'm standing here with Milena and Cynthia from Dover, who have a courtroom story to tell us. Cynthia, you were in traffic court at Dover, and you took an unusual move in terms of the witnesses you called to the stand. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, my starring witness. This is my daughter, Milena.
Hi.
Gorgeous Milena.
Yeah, so Milena, tell me a little bit about how it felt to be on the stand for your first time.
Well, I was really nervous, so I didn't really want my mom getting me involved because I'm like, oh, great. And, so when I got up there, he asked me a lot of really silly questions, like, oh, which hand is your right hand? And I'm like, oh, God. Like,
The judge asked?
yeah, and a lot of baby questions, like, you know not to lie, right? And he kept asking it, and yeah, so,
How long were you up there?
not too long. 10 minutes?
What kind of other questions did they ask you?
Like, what grade are you in? And I said I'm homeschooled. He didn't seem to have a problem with that.
What was it? So those are the kinds of questions you got from the government, but they didn't try to ask you any controversial questions or anything like that?
No.
No, but your mother asked you some questions just about the traffic stop, is it?
She asked me a question like, the conversation, and, if the police asked her, certain things, and...
Do you remember when I asked the officer, oh, do you mean, are you a free stater? And I said, no, not necessarily. And that's when she answered.
Do you remember how you answered?
That one she answered yes, which was cool.
How did you feel treated by the court personnel while you were on the stand, Milena?
Well, when he asked me the questions, I felt like I was treated kind of like a little girl, and otherwise they didn't really say anything. Just my mom asking the questions, and then I just left. So,
And what was your main reason for putting Milena on the stand?
My main reason was we were getting towards the end of the trial, and the judge asks you if you want to have any witnesses or introduce any new evidence. People need to remember that if they don't want to take the stand and they want to introduce evidence, they need to introduce them either through questioning, through the say cop, or they need to bring up a witness. And sometimes the prosecution will not cross-examine your witness, so it's important to try that avenue. So bringing an adorable 10-year-old child up to ask a few questions can only help you. So there were a few things within the cross-examining of the cop that I just want to hammer home that he was not telling the truth. And bringing in my daughter, who was my passenger and witness for the confrontation with the cop, would solidify that he was not telling the truth and that she was a witness, that this was said, this was not said. I'm not sure if this was said, so...
Yeah, it's not, I guess, your fault that the cop pulled you over when you only had one witness and the witness was your daughter.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And it it really does put the icing on the cake when you've got this whole state system where there's a initiation of force and there's a lot of victimless crimes, and all of a sudden you put this cute little muffin on the stand and you ask them a couple questions, and the prosecutor doesn't want to touch her. He doesn't want to cross-examine her at all. And so, you know, you use it nicely, you don't abuse it. And so it worked out perfectly for us, I think.
FreeKeene.com. FreeKeene.com believes Keene is the best destination for pro-liberty activists like you. Keene is an exciting and challenging ground floor opportunity. Visit move.freekeene.com and read over 108 reasons to move to Keene. Help us free the beautiful little city of Keene from the clutches of the government. Learn why you should move to Keene at move.freekeene.com.